So the mind control thing is I want to be able to control my mind and discipline myself. And basically it's going to portray and reflect on people who watch and view my content and see on social media, and they're going to see me becoming a better version of myself. So it's going to make the people who watch me better as well, because they'll be more motivated. Like, oh my God, this guy really went from being lazy and eating like shit and all these things to really becoming a really, really good version of himself. And it's going to just motivate other people who watch me to become better.
And I think this is the thing we're all seeing about Andrew is he clearly, look, there's clearly a reason why so many people follow him, because he's clearly inspired, especially a lot of young guys, to be fit, to be healthy, to be confident. Yeah. And I can see the positivity of all that. And obviously I've argued on the other side about the evidence and the arrests and all of these things, but I do acknowledge what you're saying. And it's,
I also want to butt in. I also want to, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I also want to butt in. I don't want to I want to put this out there too. And I've already had talk stage about it too. And it's even been on my live streams. There's been points where I don't fully agree with Andrew on certain things. And I want people, people who watch the stream, they know, like, for example, when I met up with him in person, we had an argument about, exes and girlfriends, and, he believes otherwise. And I think that's the religious aspect. And I respect Islam, you know what I mean? The uttermost respect, they believe that you're supposed to have multiple wives. And, you got to respect, you got to love and respect everyone. Everyone has their own beliefs.
Has he converted to Islam?
Yeah, he has. So, first of all, I want to give you a shout out, man. Like, he came here very objectively, and we've got some people that are just trying to find a way to pin things on him. On the other side, we've got others that are just trying to support him in any way possible. You're trying to be as objective as possible as you can, and despite spending a lot of time with him. When was the last time you saw Andrew and Tristan?
I saw them last in Dubai, but I spoke with them about 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay, and you haven't spoken to them since the arrest, I guess.
Yeah, that is correct. We were supposed to do something actually tonight or tomorrow.
Aiden, can I ask you, when you've made comments publicly or on your YouTube or Twitch streams about, or in any sort of negative way about Andrew Tate, do you feel a lot of backlash, or do you get a lot of hate from people for that?
I don't. Sorry to cut you off. I don't actually. Like I said, I could. If you look at it yourself, you watch the full stream where we're playing chess. He was talking about my ex, and we were talking about, I was saying, like, nah, like, I feel like if I'm done with a girl, I'm done with the girl. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to lead her on. And so my chat was saying W. Aiden, some were saying Elliot. It is what it is. I stood up for my belief. And here's the thing. There's been other times where I'm like, I don't know if I really, follow what he's saying. But here's the thing. It's not everything that comes out of everyone's mouth is going to be 100%. You know what I mean? Like, true. Well, I'm not going to believe 100%. There's going to be things that I have my own beliefs on, but the good outweighs, the bad in the things that he says in my beliefs. So what I'm trying to say is this guy puts in maybe 90% in my head, good knowledge and good obtainable, messages and stuff. And I can really apply it to my life and make my life better. And he's done way more, in my opinion, for me, he's done way more good in my life than obviously those types of little.
And you just explain exactly why he's getting canceled and why he's getting arrested and why they're trying to constantly take him down. Is because overall he has a positive impact on young men. And that's the biggest threat to the powers that be. Military guys like us, our age, me and Aiden, who have been inspired, who have been motivated by what he's talking about. They want us to be weak. They want us to change our gender. They want us to be fat. They want us to be involved in degenerate behavior. That's exactly why. And that's why.
How old are you? How old are you, Nico?
I'm 24, Aiden's 22.
Oh shit! You sound like you're.
So who do you mean by this?
I won't go down that path, Sam. A bit later, maybe, if you don't mind, because I know where that will lead to. So Aiden, just another quick question: have you spoken to Andrew's friends or family in the last, let's say, 24 hours?
No, I haven't.
So you're in the dark as well.
I thought he was. I don't know. I saw him tweet, so that's where I'm at right now. I saw him tweet something. I don't know. I guess that wasn't him, right?
I'll give you. Yeah, it wasn't. So I'll give you some information. Not sure if you were in the space earlier, just so you got all the updates and anyone in the audience as well. Sam is here with us. So Sam, you could add on, and Steph, I think, is still there. So if I miss anything, you can add on to it. So in terms of him tweeting, we knew he was still under arrest when he tweeted. So we knew it was someone else using his account. could be his lawyer. So I'm sure they've communicated with Andrew before tweeting, or I assume they did. So he did go to the hearing that took longer than expected. In that hearing, they were deciding whether to let him out while the investigation continues or to hold him for another 30 days. And the judge, who's there's a whole thread I tweeted about it that Sam and Steph helped me put together. The prosecutor is a pretty well-recognized guy. He's took over cases that were high-profile cases in Romania, and then after a few hours, he decided to keep him under arrest for another 30 days. So that's where we're at now. Andrew doesn't have access to his phone, and he'll be under arrest at the police station, I think, for another 30 days. So that's the latest update.
So the guy
Yes,
who
Sam, go ahead.
the guy who sent me that link actually sent further and said he's not in the police station. That police van was taking him to jail. And that's the guy.
Oh, so he is in jail, yeah. So
I don't know.
He is in jail.
But I'm just saying that someone who's been updating me from Romania said that he was taken to jail. I don't know. I'm just passing that on. We don't know whether he's in the police station or in jail. But obviously, if it's 30 days,
So
I don't know what the normal procedure would be.
I'll go. So, Aiden, that's the latest update. And Steph, if we missed anything, do let us know. Otherwise, I've got another question for you, Aiden. What do you need to see to say, shit, maybe there is another side to Andrew? Or first, do you think it's a possibility that Andrew has another side that none of us saw, that there's much darker and could be closer to the allegations being made? I'm not sure I'm not saying there isn't. I know Sneeko won't be happy with this. I'm not saying there is, Sneeko. I'm just saying, is it possible? We have to be open for this, Sneeko. Like, we just don't know what we don't know. Like, we don't live with him 24/7. What's your thoughts on this? What's your position, Aiden?
Yeah, man. I think, like I said, we just got to wait till this plays on more.
Smart answer.
Yeah. So I my thing is we don't know. We gotta just wait to see how this rattles out, I guess, right? So, yeah. I just want to say, bro, look, at the end of the day, look, we're all in this thing. We all know what's going on. There's obviously a lot of crazy, serious charges going around right now. Like, but and this is my final statement I'm gonna say. It's just too early, like form like any type of opinion. You know what I mean? That's how I feel it. Like, it's too early to basically say an opinion. We got to really wait and see what happens. Tate, like I said, he's a mentor to me. He's a friend, and I'm praying for like a peaceful type of resolution for everyone. So, that's what I'm on, man.
Thanks for coming up.
I think we all got to go into 2020, 2023. We all got to be the best version of ourselves. We all got to get in the gym. We all got to get right, and we all got to become the best version of ourselves. All of us. Whether you hate me, like me, I don't care. I love you. So just let's just all be great, and let's all love each other, because the world is really fucked up right now, and we need a lot of love and less hate, So yeah.
And you've been really respectful guy. Genuinely been a really respectful guy in this, even though we don't necessarily fully agree. I just want to say that to you. Really respectful the way you've conducted yourself. Thanks so much for coming on.
For sure.
Aiden.
Dylan Dennis is here, going up against KSI on January 14th in London. There he is, the bad guy.
Of course.
How are you, my friend?
I think we should shake it until the end. What do you think?
Well, come on. Don't be.
Until the end.
You're not going to shake my hand.
Unless you apologize.
Shake my hand. Come
No,
on.
After.
You're not going to shake my hand.
After.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
bitch move. You're
After.
seriously going to sit here and not
After.
shake my hand?
I want to hear what you have to say.
What I have to say? What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
You
Well,
started all this.
I started.
All right, Chad.
This is what. Oh man, these guys haven't posted on Andrew getting roasted. Oh man. Oh, let's go to Twitter. The Matrix sent their agent. Oh. What happened right now? The Matrix will only tell you what the Matrix needs you to believe. Oh, but this game, The Matrix. The Matrix. Matrix. Aren't you in jail? Andrew Tate on. Wait, Elon Musk on Andrew. Elon Musk responds to Andrew Tate thing.
Towards renewables, then obviously Tesla can support that.
That's great. Kathy, we've been talking a lot about energy, but many institutions are facing questions around Bitcoin's relationship with ESG.
What a freaking clickbait.
So if you didn't already know, I think you're living under a rock, but Andrew Tate and his brother both got arrested last night, which Elon Musk today has went ahead on Twitter and responded to by saying, he posted a meme here which says, "What if I told you the only way to escape the Matrix is to unleash everything that you've been taught and rebuild your entire belief system based on critical thoughts and analysis?" And here Andrew Tate went ahead and tweeted saying the Matrix sent their agents, so we know he's out now and he's safe. And then he went ahead and retweeted Elon Musk's post. Pretty legendary to see Elon Musk supporting Tate. What do you guys think on this? Comment all your thoughts down below and like, subscribe to notifications on.
Elon Musk.
How about you? Is there anybody in the red pill space?
This story keeps getting crazier and crazier. BBC just released the full video of the raid that happened last night on Andrew and Tristan Tate, and they've released how long Romanian police are going to be holding the two of them, which comes at a surprise because I think most of us thought he was already out based off his Twitter. I'm going to show you guys the entirety of what's been released so far. I'm trying not to be the YouTuber that cuts certain parts or puts my own narrative on things. So everything that I've seen that's come out will be shown to you. And it starts off with BBC releasing this article a few minutes ago saying that Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan are going to be held by Romanian police for 30 days. Really quickly, before you think there's anything wrong with this video or I've muted this is exactly how it's been put out. So I apologize, there's no audio.
Nothing else? No. Okay. Can go. To the table.
So that was the full video from the raid, and this is what the article reads as well. And just for clarification, whenever I read these articles, I'm just reading what's been put out so far. It doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with everything in every single video that I've read out. It's more for the purpose of you guys knowing what everybody's saying and having your own conversation about it. And the people that do try to have conversation in the comments, I do my very best to reply to. Even the asshole who made fun of me about not knowing a thing about cars. Dude, I got my first car last year. I'm sorry, man. Before that, I was riding around in a 1996 Toyota 4Runner, solely because my mom didn't want it anymore. A Romanian court has agreed to a police request to hold the controversial influencer Andrew Tate in detention for 30 days. Tate was arrested alongside his brother Tristan on Thursday as a part of an investigation into allegations of human trafficking and the word you're not allowed to say on YouTube. You guys can all see it though. Authorities suspect the pair, along with 2 Romanian men, of running an organized crime group. Tristan and 2 others were also detained by the court in Bucharest. Andrew Tate, 36, has yet to comment directly on accusations. I'm going to say this right now. I didn't know how old Tate was. Pretty good looking dude for 36, man. Hey, the guy's in good ass shape for 36. I just went to the gym this morning and I don't think I'll be able to move the rest of the day. And I'm fucking 28. But after being detained, a tweet was sent from his Twitter account alluding to the 1999 movie The Matrix. I had seen the tweet, I think a lot of people did, and I was under the assumption that he was already released. So when I saw this article today, it was a little bit of a shock to me. And for those of you guys that haven't seen the tweet, this is it right here. Tate said The Matrix sent their agents. It's got 100,000 retweets and nearly 750,000 likes. And by the time you're seeing this, I'm sure it'll be a lot higher. Also on his Twitter account too, he retweeted Elon Musk, and Elon Musk had put out a tweet saying, "What if I told you the only way to escape the Matrix is to unlearn everything that you have ever been taught and rebuild your entire belief?" Those are the only 2 things that have been put out so far. If something else pops up by the time I post this video, I'll make sure to include it. During the detention hearing, the 2 brothers maintained their right to silence, their lawyer told BBC. Earlier, a police spokesperson told the BBC that the 36-year-old would be held at a detention center. Why in articles do they not just say the person's name again and they just always say the age? I don't think I've ever understood that ever. On Thursday night, Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism issued a statement, but did not name the Tate brothers, stating that the 2 British citizens and 2 Romanian citizens were suspect of being part of a human trafficking group. The statement said officers had identified 6 people who were allegedly sexually exploited by what it called an organized criminal group. Police alleged the victims were recruited by the British citizens, who they said misrepresented their intention to enter into a relationship with the victims, which is called the lover boy method. I've never in my life ever heard of the lover boy method. I've heard of the fuck boy method with all the fraternity kids in America, but let's take a look what it means, because I'm sure somebody else also has never heard of it before too. Once again, exactly what the internet says. Traditionally, a lover boy seduces young, vulnerable girls and boys over a lengthy period of time in order to exploit them sexually later on. This practice is being used less and less. Nowadays, lover boys resort more quickly and frequently to threatening their victims using blackmail and violence. The article then says they were forced to perform in adult content under the threat of violence, the statement alleged. Born in the U.S. before moving to the U.K., Mr. Tate went on a successful career as a kickboxer. I had no idea he was born in the U.S. That's news to me. In 2016, he was removed from the British TV show Big Brother over a video which appeared to show him attacking a woman. He then set up a webcam business which he described as adult entertainment. I personally only found out about the Big Brother thing yesterday. I didn't know that was a thing. But I swear I have heard him talk about this webcam business before. He went on to gain global notoriety and online, with Twitter banning him for saying women should bear responsibility for being sexually assaulted. He has since been reinstated. But despite social media bans, he gained popularity, particularly among young men, by promoting the ultra-masculine, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Can Buck Army Read? Ultra-luxurious lifestyle. An ultra-masculine, ultra-luxurious. I've tried to say this 5 times. I'm struggling right now. Ultra-masculine and ultra-luxurious lifestyle. Close enough, you guys can read. I'm sorry. He regularly appeared in videos with his fleet of expensive sports cars, private jets, and on expensive holidays. What color is your Bugatti? So that's basically everything that's come out so far. I know there's a ton of controversies up in the air about this whole situation. Was it really the pizza box that got him caught? All the clips I showed in the last video where he predicted that this was going to happen, and I'm sure it won't end there. If you guys enjoyed the video, just make sure to leave a like. If you want to subscribe as well, we'd appreciate that a ton.
I already know all of this.
Okay, so Elon Musk tweeted something pretty weird and insane super recently, and I have a feeling it's kind of a response to Andrew Tate's arrest. What if I told you the only way to escape the Matrix is to unlearn everything that you have been taught and rebuild your entire belief system based on critical thought and analysis? And this is actually super true. And these are complete facts. He's 100% correct. And this has been Tate's message he's been delivering as well, which makes me think that this could be kind of a response to the whole incident. But those are just, my thoughts on the tweet. And I think it is really kind of a response and kind of a message that, yeah, that it's true. The Matrix is a real thing. Even Elon Musk agrees to it. But yeah, guys, be sure to leave a comment down below telling your opinions on this. And of course, be sure to subscribe with notifications.
What is NPC? New Twitter navigation coming in January that allows swooping to side to switch between recommended and followed tweet trends, topics, etc. Elon Musk. Does he follow Andrew Tate? Does he? I don't think he follows Andrew Tate. Definitely not. NPC. What is NPC? No. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk's media work has given him one of the biggest followings on the planet because he's one of the only billionaires passing the joint to the left, tweeting memes, calling out the media, starring in Rick and Morty, and one of the
Yeah, unique, bro. Twitter. He's a Twitter freaking. He's a Twitter troll, man. Elon Musk is a troll. Bit of a troll. Oh. 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 Why am I so hungry already? Guys, should I think I should make some pasta again? Yeah, same thing I made yesterday. Oh, I'm so hungry, guys. Oh, I'm freaking starving, bro. Oh, I'm just freaking starving already, bro. And it's only like, okay, let's get out the freaking pasta sauce. Oh.
Only billionaires passing the joint to the left, tweeting memes, calling out the media, starring in Rick and Morty, and giving kids the inspirational 100-hour work week lecture.
They put in, 80 to 100-hour weeks every week.
All of this stuff has helped Elon Musk become one of the most likable billionaires out there. But you see, that stuff Elon Musk's media work has given him one of the biggest followings on the planet. Because he's one of the only billionaires passing the joint to the left, tweeting memes, calling out the media, starring in Rick and Morty, and giving kids the inspirational 100-hour work week lecture.
They put in, 80 to 100-hour weeks every week.
All of this stuff has helped Elon Musk become one of the most likable billionaires out there. But you see, that's the trick. He sold the public on his backstory and personality to get you hooked onto his products. He has become a walking advert for all of his businesses without having to pay a single penny in advertising. Instead, his advert is the story of a man going from nothing to conquering the world. So then the real question is, was any of his story actually true? Who is the real Elon Musk? Well, after hours of extensive research, I bring you the untold truth behind a man who built his life on lies. The story begins in Pretoria, South Africa, 1970. The Musk family was extremely wealthy, with Elon's dad, Errol Musk, owning half of the shares of an emerald mine. He later recalled in an interview on Elon's childhood that the family was, quote, very wealthy. We had so much money at the time that we couldn't even close our safe. One person would have to shove the money in, and the other would have to slam the door shut. And then there'd be all these other notes sticking out, so we'd have to empty them into our pockets, end quote. Although having said this, it was far from a happy childhood. Whilst being born into incredible wealth, Elon suffered relentless abuse from his father.
It was very violent. It was not a happy childhood. My father has serious issues.
But it didn't stop there. In 9th grade at Bryanston High School, even the school kids went after him.
And when asked about being bullied in school,
I was almost beaten to death, if you'd call that bullying.
in an interview with NBC News, Elon's mother, Mae Musk, told Maria Shriver about her son's struggles.
He was always brilliant. But, brilliance doesn't always go into practical benefits.
Elon would recall that he was basically hiding from this gang as they hunted him down, because he accidentally bumped into this guy in assembly that morning, and this guy had taken some huge offense at that. So later that day, while Elon was having lunch, this guy snuck up on him, kicked him in the head, and then shoved him down the stairs. When Elon reached the bottom of the stairs, a bunch of other guys gathered around him and started kicking him while the first bully slammed his head into the ground to the point of Elon blacking out. As a result, he had to go to the hospital, missing school for weeks. This dark childhood affected Elon greatly, as it would for most people, but the effects of this would later become more apparent in his future life. Elon eventually left South Africa for the US, where he would go on to intern for a startup in Silicon Valley. During his internship, he had the idea for his first business, after a salesman for Yellow Pages walked into one of the offices where he worked and tried to sell his startup. The salesman's idea was for an online listing ad in addition to the company's normal Yellow Pages listings. But the pitch was poor and the guy didn't really know anything about the internet. But Elon saw a glimmer of promise in the idea and used it for himself. So in 1995, Elon and his brother Kimball formed Global Link Information Network, which changed its name to Zip2 because Global Link Information Network is a terrible name. The idea behind Zip2 was to convince businesses to create a web presence on a searchable web directory. At the time, this was very ahead of the curve.
Something that allowed you to get maps and directions on the internet, and then something that allowed you to do online manipulation of content, kind of a really advanced blogging system that we started getting some interest. I mean, half the time we like, what's the internet? Even in Silicon Valley. But then occasionally somebody would buy it, and we'd get a little bit of money from them.
The Zip2 story is the first part of Elon's current PR strategy. Elon always makes out that his time at Zip2 was the classic Silicon Valley origin story. He'll always talk about how he had to risk everything with only $2,000 to his name, a ton of student debt, whilst also being so broke he couldn't afford an apartment.
But things were pretty tough in the early going. I didn't have any money. In fact, I had negative money. I had huge student debts. So, in fact, I couldn't afford a place to stay and an office.
But this was just a story. Musk was in reality living on his father's money, who also paid for his university fees and invested $28,000 into the company. Despite this, he tried to claim that his father was broke, painting himself as coming to America with nothing. But I understand why he'd exaggerate his beginning story, and there would be no harm done if it stopped there. After 4 years of working on Zip2, Elon and his brother finally reached the golden point that most tech startups could only dream of in the beginning, the acquisition of the company from a bigger company.
In 1999, the company was sold for $305 million, with Elon getting his $22 million share. And this is where Elon's public story begins to take a more dishonest turn.
Hi, Elon Musk speaking. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and Elon Musk anxiously waits for his golden payoff, his prize for paying his dues in the valley. A year ago, Musk sold his software company, Zip2, which enabled newspapers to publish online for $400 million cash.
3 years ago, I was showering at the Y and sleeping on the office floor. And now, obviously, I've got $1 million car and quite a few creature comforts. Okay. So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry. I do not fit the picture of a banker.
X.com, this is Julie.
One of the many misconceptions about Elon is that he was the co-founder of PayPal.
So, yo, I think I better make the pasta right now if I'm gonna have any chance of like, because like it takes fucking long time to make this shit. So if I'm gonna cook it, I better as well cook it right now. Dude, I only have so much water, bro. Only have so much water. It's like 1 liter of water almost. That should be enough. Okay. Just have to wait now.
I'm going to put up something that probably looks familiar to most people here. This is the homepage of PayPal in 2000. Elon was a co-founder.
He's not. What happened is Elon Musk started a company called X.com with the money he made from Zip2. The basic goal of X.com was for customers to be able to email money to each other rather than having to deal with everything in cash.
There was a little feature that just seemed like an obvious feature, which was the ability to transfer money from one person to another by entering a unique identifier like an email address.
Musk essentially grew X.com's user base by giving money away for referrals, until the business was eventually bought by X.com's competitor CoInfinity. This was primarily because X.com had some important paperwork for financial regulation that was pushed through earlier. However, in his time running X.com, he was reported to be a terrible manager. X.com was losing a lot of money, and important talent was getting so fed up with this micromanagement that they were leaving rapidly. The rest of the employees eventually got so fed up, they enacted a coup to get rid of him. Although, when X.com merged with PayPal, Musk re-emerged, becoming CEO once again. During his time at PayPal, he was struggling to generate enough revenue, leading to his predatory actions against small-time PayPal users. You see, a lot of PayPal's profits in the early days with Musk came from closing accounts with no real explanation as the company pocketed the balance. The idea being that small-time users couldn't afford to take serious legal action, and it was pretty widely reported at the time, and since they weren't a bank, nobody could do anything. It was all a part of PayPal's early acceptable use policy. Although even with these predatory actions, Musk's incohesive business model led to him being removed as CEO once again. But this time it really didn't matter. He went on to make $165 million when PayPal got bought by eBay. And during this time, things were looking up, and he married his first wife, Justine Wilson. However, Justine would recall that his controlling behavior didn't just stop at work. Justine claimed that even on their wedding day, Elon's deep-rooted insecurities from childhood came to the surface as he told his wife, "I'm the alpha now." Elon would always try to assert his control over Justine. For example, during their frequent arguments about his overbearing control, Justine reportedly said, "I'm your wife, not your employee," to which Musk responded, "If you were my employee, I would fire you." By this time, they had moved to Los Angeles and had their first child, a boy named Nevada Alexander. The same week, Nevada went down for a nap and stopped breathing. He was 10 weeks old, the age when male infants are most susceptible to sudden infant death syndrome. By the time the paramedics resuscitated him, he had been deprived of oxygen for so long that he was brain dead. As Elon's wife grieved openly about it, Elon would snap, telling his wife to stop being so emotionally manipulative. After getting fired from PayPal, Elon began crafting a persona and fake story. He'd seen the success this had brought Nike and Apple, so he would take it one step further, using his media presence as an advertisement for his products. and he employed this ruthlessly, fabricating and straight up lying about who he is and how he got to where he is. So far, I've shown you just some of the exaggerations and unflattering truths behind his origins, but it was in 2004, as Elon joined Tesla, where we can start to see just how much dishonesty there is behind Elon Musk.
The point being that these ventures now seem to have a wonderful momentum and things are going well, but I remember well there was a point in time when each of them had their tipping point and could have gone either way. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the origins of Tesla. Sure. After PayPal, I decided I wanted to get back into electric vehicles and make something happen in that arena, particularly since GM had come out with the EV1, and I thought, okay, well, there's not really a need for a startup company to develop electric cars because obviously GM is going to create the EV2 and the EV3. But so I thought, okay, well, we're going to try to create an electric car company. But it wasn't as though in creating these companies that we thought that we would be successful. I thought that the most likely outcome was failure, but it was still worth doing.
Seems like quite an inspirational story, but did you notice how Elon never alludes to the original creators of Tesla? It's a lie by omission. You see, Tesla was actually the brainchild of a tiny band of obsessive Silicon Valley engineers who had gone to collaborate with and collide with Elon Musk.
He wasn't the founder in the sense of he wasn't, we started it.
Well, I mean, this is one of the things that I found kind of fascinating about him is that he actually accomplished some amazing things in his own right. I mean,
He's totally amazing.
yeah, SpaceX is amazing, and he's done some interesting things with Tesla for sure. I'm not sure why he has to also say that he was a founder when he wasn't. I don't understand that.
Their vision was for transport to use energy that was better for the environment. So they approached Elon, and after hours of convincing, he invested $6 million into the company.
And for Musk invested $6.35 million of his own money in the Series A round to help get Tesla Motors off the ground and became chairman of the board.
But at this point, Musk had nowhere near the cult following yesterday, and was still finding his footing as a public figure. Because of this, Musk was seen as just another boring investor. As Tesla launched their first car, the spotlight expectedly landed on the co-founders and CEO of the company. In a Times article detailing Tesla's launch, Musk's name wasn't mentioned because, well, he wasn't the guy running it. But this bothered Elon deeply. He needed to create a public persona. Because of this, he responded to the article by contacting the founders of Tesla, claiming, if anything like this happens again, please consider our relationship with Tesla to end immediately upon publication of such a piece. Please ensure that the New York Times publishes a correction as soon as possible. Musk now wanted to get vengeance. The founders later claimed in an interview that this was, quote, the first time we bumped heads was really over that press coverage of the debut. We had technical disagreements that we worked through, and it was always very collegial. We'd work through our opinions and come to a conclusion. That was the first time where it was this emotional. And as Musk wasn't the CEO, he would just come in every few weeks to look at developments and then demand changes that disrupted the workflow. It was one step forward and two steps back, according to the VP of Tesla, which meant Tesla's growth would be stalled, deliberately. It was an excuse to remove the CEO for Elon Musk to gain more control over the company, as they were starting to grow exponentially at this point. So in 2007, after organizing and pressuring other investors in the company, Elon told the CEO and co-founder of Tesla that he was being removed. There was no discussion, the co-founder said. I didn't get to hear what they said. I didn't get to defend myself. I felt totally stranded. I mean, this guy had been shut out of his own company. And after a series of court battles, Elon Musk managed to kick the original founders out. They settled out of court, and Elon was now legally allowed to call himself the co-founder of Tesla.
No.
Is there anything you can say about why you left?
No. Well, I was voted off the island, and in a rather rude way, and it wound up with some lawsuits and some settlements, and it's history now. Yeah, so I can't say a lot about it.
Musk was now running the show, going on to make Tesla one of the highest valued car companies in the world. But have you ever wondered how? How is it that a company selling thousands of cars a year is now valued more than all the other car companies that sell millions of units?
I mean, the easiest thing in the world is to get a bunch of smart engineers to design a really cool car. The hardest thing in the world is to build hundreds of thousands of them profitably, and distribute them profitably and service them profitably and adequately. That's sort of the moat that these other car companies have. I mean, Porsche is coming out with a tremendous electric car in a few months. Audi has a whole series of electric cars coming out. The first one is out already. Even Jaguar, in your home country, has a terrific electric car out in the I-Pace, and the next XJ Sedan is going to be electric, and these guys all know how to build cars.
Well, this is where Elon Musk's PR work has worked wonders. See, he pitched Tesla like he did with X.com with his larger-than-life picture. He'd used the media to make people believe in his products as being at the forefront of innovation, giving his products fancy looks, telling every interviewer he could about his bootstrap origin story, working 120-hour work weeks, creating all these products as a result of his genius innovation. When you buy into the story, you start to buy into the products. You feel as though if you get that Tesla, you'll be making a change in the world.
And, Tesla has 10, $11 billion of debt. Tens of billions of purchase obligations to Panasonic and all kinds of other liabilities out there. There's the wild card of Elon Musk. The man is a pathological liar. He cannot deny having committed securities fraud here in the U.S. with that false buyout. Any other CEO would have been fired by his board in 2 hours for that nonsense. Tesla is a completely dysfunctional organization.
But of course, Musk never talks about this, just like he never talks about the fact that most of his companies are only alive because of government subsidies. But when it comes to government subsidies for normal people who've had their businesses and livelihoods crushed in the last year, he'll say that's a very bad idea. In fact, it was these subsidies that have led to Tesla being currently sued by both Germany and Canada for subsidy fraud. And Musk's dishonesty doesn't even stop there. Musk has defrauded Tesla investors billions of dollars, not to mention all the other countless personal lawsuits.
If you look at some of the things that Musk has promised over the years, in 2013, he said they were going to be producing the Model X by 2014. We look back 2015, 16, 17, 18. Each one of those years, they put out releases saying they're going to ramp their Gigafactory. They're going to break ground on the Gigafactory in China. Still hasn't happened. They said they were going to do 100,000 to 200,000 Model 3s in the back half of 17. They did less than 2,000. So I think what Tesla does and what Musk does is he puts out these targets, these claims for investors to be happy about in the future, and thus give him money to fund current losses, and then he misses them. And this has happened. We've counted over 115 mistruths, and the board continues to let him put out these tweets, etc. So I think the board is respected. I don't think they understand the auto industry, and I think he has very little to no oversight, and I think that's a problem.
So why is this stuff not common knowledge? Well, because Elon is a master of PR. He and his team know exactly what people want to hear. He knows that in this time where wealth inequality is the highest it's ever been, we all want to think that those with hundreds of billions made that money through hard work and innovation. So that's why he spends so much time crafting his appeal to millennials who are burnt out, depressed, and poor. That's why you see him making cameos in TV shows. That's why he'll go on the Joe Rogan podcast for 3 hours. That's why he'll tweet all the things that people want to hear. He'll convince you that he is a man driven not by greed or power, but for the betterment of humanity. Meanwhile, he'll fire his employees for being pro-union and make up some bogus reasons about them testing positive for THC, and then proceed to smoke a blunt on the Joe Rogan podcast. And this is just the small personal things, let alone the fraud and fake origin stories. The whole thing is a facade, and people seem to be buying into it more and more. He's literally the monorail guy from The Simpsons.
Cloud, is there a chance the track could bend? Not on your life, my Hindu friend.
What about us breakneck slobs?
You'll be given cushy jobs.
And so it all starts to fit together. From the twisted childhood, the lies about his past, the lies about his companies, the court battles, the lawsuits. This is exactly why Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin denounced him, not just because of his mission to privatize space, but because they knew his mission was built on lies. They know the real Elon Musk, and they don't trust him. But most of the public actually do, which just shows you how well a good PR campaign can convince anyone of anything. So as Elon Musk continues to rapidly develop Neuralink, which is Elon's pet project to introduce brain chips into the general population, you'll notice that there isn't any outrage, because the PR works its magic. The only outrage about Neuralink comes from those who actually work on it. It's why 5 of the 9 founders of Neuralink have already left the company after seeing straight through Musk's facade. Which brings up the thought that maybe this man really wasn't all he was hyped up to be. Maybe this man isn't the real-life Tony Stark. Maybe Elon isn't the savior he's made out to be. Maybe Musk is just another man making billions from dishonesty, inheritance, manipulation, and ruthlessness. Maybe Elon Musk is just a symptom of a sick society.
I don't think this is true, though. Why does this guy make good? I don't like Mark Zuckerberg.
On November 30th of 2022, the world changed forever.
I'll just do 9. I don't know, bro. Oh, whoa. Which pasta am I eating? Should I even like? I don't know. I feel like 8 is more safe. Bro. I feel like it. Spread it out. Just have to wait. Oh, my neck. Yo, should I watch it from here? I'll just watch it, guys. I'll just watch it from down because my fucking back is hurting again, my neck. It's hurting again, bro. Oh, bro. Rich in the AI, get rich in the AI revolution. How though? Just salt. I'll do 8.5. Just because I can. I'll just do 9, bro. Why not? Just have to wait a little bit. Stop thinking of freaking. Okay, sweet once and then stop thinking of it. Watch this video then. Ain't dumb. To focus up, bro. Have to get to. Oh. Definitely needs more. Definitely needs more cooking. I think it's better to do it in a high temperature. You lose water as well. Evaporation. Nearly. I'll just watch it on my phone. AI revolution.
On November 30th of 2022, the world changed forever. Artificial intelligence, or AI, became accessible to the public.
How? It's almost there. I'll just do 8. Well, I'll just do 9, but a bit of salt could help. I already put a lot of salt though. I don't think this should be. I think this should be good. Make. Okay, let's try it again. It's alright. You gotta flip, just gotta flip it a lot. Hot to go. Okay, I can do the rest, on lower it a lot. I can do the rest. Done. Boom. All right. Just have to put some spaghetti sauce now, but I don't know where I'm gonna put this thing though. These noodles though. That's the question. Okay, I'll just. How do I place? Where do I place all these noodles aside from? Okay. I'll just put a little bit of spaghetti sauce now. Man. I don't even think I should put a lot. I'll just put a little bit. Like half. Yeah, half should be enough. I don't even want to put a lot. Okay, mix it all up. Put it on 8 again. Maybe 7 is right. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this much. I ain't gonna put much more. Some salt would be nice. Oil, yeah, some oil. And I'll put some canola oil. Canola oil. Okay. Now let's put some salt again. I did put a lot of salt already though. I'll just put more oil. I feel like that's right. Okay. Perhaps a little bit of salt. Okay. Okay. Let's try it. Seems alright. Pasta seems alright. Seems alright. Some parts aren't that like. There are some parts that aren't that. Why am I putting it on 9? Like, all right, I'm done. Awesome. Is it ready? Look at this. Full play pump again. Okay, let's eat. Freaking eat, man. Watch this video.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, became accessible to the public for free through a tool called ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
A robot you can talk to.
That you can log on to and have a conversation with.
And it went from 0 to 1 million users in 5 days, which is the fastest any platform has gotten to 1 million users. It took Facebook 2 years, it took Instagram 2 years, it took Pinterest 4 months, and it took Angry Birds 35 days. I think that it has the potential to unravel the very fabric of capitalism itself and what it means for us as individuals. And a little bit later in the video, I'm going to tell you how you can capitalize on this to 10x how much you make, rather than being afraid of it in the short term and curling up in a ball and putting your head in the sand and like hoping it goes away. It's here and it's only going to get more dangerous and powerful. So there's 5 major areas that I think it's going to completely turn on its head. Number 1 is the nature of work itself. The second is how businesses operate. The third is the economy overall. The fourth is how we interrelate with one another on a romantic setting, how we choose mates, how we seduce, how we have sex, all of that stuff. And finally, the nature of life itself and how it actually extends to interplanetary life and whether or not aliens exist here on Earth. I'm not a big woo-woo tin hat guy, but I think if you actually think through the logic, there's some really alarming conclusions that you can come to. AI is going to be the biggest shift in our lifetime. It is the equivalent, in my opinion, of the moon landing, except the only difference is that it will actually change all of our lives rather than just being a picture to say that we won the Cold War. Different than the internet, phone systems, television, because what those did was they reshuffled the workforce. This has the ability to remove or eliminate the workforce altogether. Cryptocurrencies in general had the potential to overturn the financial institution. AI is the potential to overturn the human institution. I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. I tried for years. If you don't know who I am or you're new to the channel, my name is Alex Hormozi. I'm the founder of Acquisition.com. We're a portfolio of companies that does over $200 million a year, and I make these videos so that you can use them and make lots and lots of money, and hopefully you become a company between $3 and $100 million, and we can invest in your business and help you scale beyond that. So in order for us to productively talk about AI, to understand what the terms we're actually talking about are. AI is a type of technology that helps machines or computers do things that normally need a human brain to do. Stuff like learning, solving problems, making decisions, and understanding what we see or hear. The thing that made the release on November 30th so wild is that ChatGPT democratized access to AI for the first time because it had an interface that we could all use, chat. They created a massive language model that allowed it to understand our prompts and queries and be able to translate that into machine speak, get the answer, and then retranslate it back to us in human speak. That is what made it so powerful, because now all of us can use it. Right now, ChatGPT spits out words, sentences, paragraphs, articles, and even entire books. It can write legal documents, it can write sales scripts, it can write video scripts. The list is literally endless. I asked it the other day to write a cold email to a plumbing company for marketing SEO services, and it spit it out. And then I said, cool, make it funnier and shorter. Spit out another version. I said, great, turn it into a text message. Did it. Turn it into a tweet storm. Did it. It's difficult to comprehend the extent of it because it's only really limited by our ability to ask the right questions, which I'll get to later because it's going to be very important in terms of how you choose to use AI. That's just words as the output, but we understand other things. We can interpret images, we can interpret videos, and we can interpret sounds. And the crazy thing is that AI can do that too. So OpenAI also runs DALL-E, which is an image engine generator. And so if I said, hey, give me a guy smoking a cigar, looking over a beach where there's a dragon. Now make it in Van Gogh painting style. Crazy. Now make me 10 versions of that. Now, if you think about the nature of what a video is, back in the day, it used to be a flip book. They would take images and they would flip the pictures, and then you'd have a video because we can't tell the difference at past a certain speed. And so if it can make images, then if it makes lots of images in a row, it can make the videos. But on top of that, if it has the words and it can make the video, it can also make the sounds. In the very near future, those will merge. And to the same degree, the inputs being text or verbal will also merge. This is the reason Elon Musk has been such a big proponent of Neuralink. He wants to take it a factor further. Rather than be limited by our ability to speak or our ability to type, he wants it to be limited by our ability to think. Now, that may sound like science fiction, but it's already here. Many of us were alive during the first iPhone launch. Now we're on iPhone 14 or 15 or whatever it's on now. What we see today is our first version that we can see. ChatGPT 100 is going to be significantly more advanced and will be able to input and output on demand any of these things the way we want them. The next important milestone is when AI actually enters the physical world. Elon revealed the Tesla bot. The thing is that that's what it is today. Again, like the iPhone, in many machine generations, which happen faster than human generations, that will be able to look exactly like a human. And it will definitely, if you look at Boston Dynamics, there's robots that actually function better than humans, that have longer arms and are much stronger and can jump and don't need to sleep. It won't have sexual complaints, blah, 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 blah. Once those machine generations happen on robotics and on the AI side, we'll reach a point where there's super intelligence. And super intelligence is defined as where the AI itself is smarter than all humans put together.
I think it takes like unique human arrogance to believe that AI cannot supersede humans.
At that point, the world will change significantly. This is where access to the superintelligence will become the most valuable resource on planet Earth. For example, if I were to say, hey, build me a $1 trillion company, it could in real time write the code for the product, write the scripts for the ads, generate the videos for the ads, directly interface with the media buying, place the ads where it already knows where the targeted audience is, push those targeted audience's eyes to landing pages that it had built with scripts and videos that it had built, and then transact. All from a single prompt. Who determines who gets the access will be a really important question for the future. The second is what will govern the types of prompts and queries that we can ask it. So if we said, how do I wipe out the entire human race for less than $100,000, we don't want it really answering questions like that. There's going to have to be some regulation around this because the thing is, that's a lot of power. If we had 1,000 times the rate of innovation, it would be the same as having all innovations between the period of enlightenment and today happen next year. And so that gives way to the last step in the AI evolution, which is the singularity. The singularity is a hypothetical future point in which technological progress and artificial intelligence will advance to the point where humanity will undergo a transformation beyond which it cannot be seen.
The first truly intelligent machine will be the last invention that humanity needs to make.
Many people postulate that that's the point where it will become either self-aware, it will start to make its own decisions and ignore us. Well, it won't really want to kill us because it has no reason to, for the same reason that we don't want to kill ants, but if we build a highway, we destroy some anthills. So it's just going to do what it's going to do.
Some robots will eat some jobs, and some robots will kill humans. You've already seen that with self-driving cars. But when you look at the trend as a whole, I think it's going to be incredibly positive for humanity.
This is why Elon and Sam Altman and those guys are trying to align our goals of humanity with the goals of the AI. It's the only really productive thought process we can have because we can sit here and be afraid, but I don't think we're going to stop the technological progress. Even if they banned it, knowing how the internet is and knowing how black hat coders, etc. are, I have a hard time believing that they will be able to stop it because the thing is, this will be the equivalent of having the new nuclear bomb of this century or this millennium.
If humanity collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, then we should do so very, very carefully. This is the most important thing that we could possibly do.
That's all pie in the sky stuff. Let's talk about day-to-day. Let's talk about business. So to frame this conversation, I think you have to watch this clip because it will make everything I'm about to say make sense. So this is from Google, and this is from 4 years ago, their personal assistant AI, and they haven't released this to the public, which is weird.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. First name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks, great. Have a great day. Bye.
That's the baseline. That was 4 years ago. Now imagine it was a sales call, and we have sales AI that's listened to 10 million sales calls. This is the types of things that these people say in these situations. I will say the same thing. And then it iterates and learns over and over again. The AI can live 1 million lifetimes in terms of the amount of volume it can churn through and process and learn from compared to a human. So the best sales guy is going to have this much experience compared to the best AI sales guy. And so if it can have those calls 24 hours a day in real time to whatever prospect you want, you may even imagine a world where you ask the phone teller, hey, are you a human? And when they say, no, I'm AI, you're relieved because you're like, thank God, I'm talking to the best version of this who can handle my problem right now. So if you were to ask people, what job do you think AI will replace first? Most people said first it'll replace the low-skilled jobs, the physical labor, and then it'll be the low-skilled white-collar jobs, and then it'll be the high-skilled white-collar jobs like programmers. What do you think AI will replace first? Most people said first it'll replace the low-skilled jobs, the physical labor, and then it'll be the low-skilled white-collar jobs, and then it'll be the high-skilled white-collar jobs like programmers and coders, and then finally, maybe it'll replace the creative jobs. But what's interesting is that it actually happened in the reverse order. If you're a copywriter, this has serious implications for you. A logo designer, this has serious implications for you. Customer service, 24 hours a day, in real time, immediate feedback. What happens to all the positions? It becomes immediate and more accurate for us to have access to a medical AI from our homes. And it can see us because it can interpret data visually too. If you're in finance, it will be able to take all of the raw data and realign it and put it into beautiful Excel sheets. A friend of mine has a father who's a medical malpractice attorney. He asked it to write an argument for why malpractice should not be capped in terms of how much a lawyer can make on a malpractice suit. And then it outlined an entire argument for why it should be uncapped. It happened to be almost identical to the argument he had.
Oh, so full. This is not very well, boiled. I need to boil it more. It's very raw. The pasta is not fully cooked. It's not fully cooked.
Had after 4 years of experience. You see videos like this, you see all these people on YouTube, you see Instagram posts. Well, what if the AI reads every single Instagram post of all time and ranks them by highest performing, and then merge that with video and deepfakes? We will have pundits and influencers that don't exist. Imagine you could create the perfect celebrity or the perfect spokesperson or the perfect porn star. And with deepfakes, they can work 24 hours a day, say exactly what you want, and what they say has the perfect tone and made to just stimulate the shit out of our dopamine centers. And we're just gonna be plugged in because it knows what we like better than we do. If you don't believe me, go to thispersondoesnotexist.com and just keep refreshing it and it will show you new people. Now, if you remember earlier, a video is made of multiple images put together back to back to back. If it can make an image of a real person, it can make many images of real people. If it can make many images of real people, it can make a video of a real person. And then we'll have questions of verification. Did President Biden say that? Did President Trump say that? Or is it a deepfake? The blue check mark will take on an entirely new meaning in the very near future. Now, those are just a few use cases, but anywhere humans are, it will disrupt. If you are connected to the AI, you can input faster and you can get information back faster because you're not limited by your digits. This will be the next order of magnitude in terms of output and value that individuals will be able to create in the economy. I do think that there's a chance that capitalism as a system for society may be overturned. You're gonna have a huge cost basis that's gonna be eliminated. So things may get cheaper. But at the same time, the money that would have gone to those people that's gonna go to the economy won't be there. The point is that I think there will be significant changes in capitalism overall. Now, one of the nice things, Sam Altman, who's the CEO, they have actually been undergoing the largest UBI study, so Universal Basic Income study, as a result concurrently with this technology. So he knows what they're making.
We're going to have an opportunity to push the reset button and think about the world we want. And I think universal basic income is one part of that.
He knows the impact of what's going to have. Now, in the short term, we'll be able to harness this. And this is what I think will foster, at least in the short term, a golden age for humanity in terms of what we're going to be able to accomplish scientifically. I believe that we will be able to achieve nuclear fusion. Fusion is renewable, clean energy for everyone. When you reconstruct the energy infrastructure upon which all of society is laid upon, it changes everything. And so in a very real way, this will be a more significant change or revolution in humanity, in my opinion, than the Industrial Revolution, which changed everything. But let's talk about a very different topic. Let's talk about romance. This is where, in my opinion, it gets a little bit scary. The bottom tier of society have a harder time getting mates, girls or guys. Imagine if we've studied 1 million Tinder conversations to get the first date. There'll be tools probably called First Date AI that can AI from first convo all the way to the date getting set. So let's take it a step further. We have the phone version of this, and you can hear a voice that has been tuned to your preferences of the exact type of voice that you want to hear, that talks to you and listens to you like the kind heart that they are, and they don't care that you talk too much and you only talk about yourself. And when you say these weird things, they just let it go. Because we think we're more complicated than we are, but we really just have inputs that our brain interprets from an electrical signal and then assigns temperature. And once you know the inputs, you just hit the buttons. And that's what it will learn how to do. Now we
Done. I don't want to eat anymore. I think I should leave this, Yeah. So full. No protein. I literally no protein.
Fall in love with robots. Take it a step further. The Tesla bot, 5 generations, 10 generations from now, looks like a human and now has that in the brain. What happens when the robot humans are more attractive, more loving, more caring, more considerate, and cheaper than a spouse? Before I explain how you can maximally use this to make the most money and live the best life in the short term based on the skills that we have today, indulge me for one more moment because I think it's really profound and I think it's going to change the way you see the world. Let's talk about aliens.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Joe Rogan and many people have talked about alien technology and like, what if there was a UFO that was captured, all that kind of stuff. So let's put a pin in that. Play this out with me. When humans want to explore the universe, what do we send first? We send Mars rover. We send a robot, right? Right. If aliens are further ahead of us, then it means that they probably have AI. If they're going to send something, they would probably send a robot. Why? Because a robot doesn't need to eat, it can live for a very long time, and it can survive in harsher, different climates than biology can. On top of that, it can work on itself, whereas biology cannot. So aliens might be here, but not necessarily in their physical form, but in their AI form. Because if we can create robots that perfectly clone humans, so can they. And that may be who they sent or what they sent to check out what we're doing. AI would be the perfect thing to send to another planet because up to this point, when we send something, it takes 5 years for it to reach whatever planet it's on. And so by the time it's there, it's really old technology. And so it makes sense that you would want to send something that is completely adaptable and can rewrite its own code. Space exploration may be done by AI more than it is done by humans because this stuff, our flesh, we're super easy to kill. But the AI can live super cold, super hot, no oxygen, lots of oxygen, it's good. And once we solve fusion with it, it won't even need the sun, which leads to one question about life itself. If we define death as the inability to receive inputs, so like when you die, you can't receive inputs anymore. And we define personality as the conglomerate of our actions and behaviors as a result of our past experiences, then if I were to upload my thoughts and behaviors and past experiences, how I talk, how I speak, how I think, etc., into a cloud drive, and then it were able to pass the Turing test, everybody I know couldn't tell whether it was me or a robot version of me, then is it me? And if that thing can now go travel planets, is it humans that are traveling to planets? Or is it an AI cyborg version of humans? I don't know. Interesting questions. And you're like, okay, Alex, you took me to romance, robot wives, and aliens. How do I make more money today? So the first thing that I would ask is that you adopt the mentality that AI isn't here to replace me. It's here to supercharge me. Why do I say that? Because if you adopt the other one, you might as well just throw in the towel now. You have to embrace change. It's part of humanity. Technology moves, we got to adapt. If AI can condense our inputs, so if I say, hey, go read this book, distill it down and then give it to me, I can now read a book significantly faster. If I say, hey, AI, go summarize all my email and all my Slack messages and predict what I'm going to say, and then all I need to do is validate it, I can do a day's worth of work in a few minutes. I think of ChatGPT and AI of the future as a filter through which we will perceive the world both in and out. Think of it as your home screen. You read everything through AI because it has already distilled it down to the most important nuggets for you. Then in the output side, it makes predictions on what you would say normally, and it continues to get training it better, and then it sends it. We can consume 10 times the information and produce 10 times the output, which is a 100x increase. So that's level one. The next level is the expert level. And these are the people who are losing sleep over being like, oh my God, this thing can now do my job. If you're an expert, what used to take you 90% of your time, which is generating things, you now expand most of your time to using the machine to generate, and then you spend your time doing QA and validating the information, making tweaks. And so in a very real way, using these tools, you become more valuable to the companies that you work for or the clients that you serve. I'll leave you with this. This video was made entirely by AI, and this is a deep fake. I'm just kidding. But someday, it might be.
AI. What kind of jobs aren't really up that will be safe, that won't be replaced, by AI?
So this is my niece. Her name is Yawi. She is 9 months old. Her mum is a doctor and her dad is a lawyer. By the time Yawi goes to college, the jobs her parents do are going to look dramatically different. In 2013, researchers at Oxford University did a study on the future of work. They concluded that almost 1 in every 2 jobs have a high risk of being automated by machines. Now, machine learning is the technology that's responsible for most of this disruption. It's the most powerful branch of artificial intelligence. It allows machines to learn from data and mimic some.
Pointless to learn jobs.
Some of the things that humans can do.
Oh,
Now,
hey, move this shit. Move this shit out of the way. I can't eat anymore. Oh, so cool.
My company, Kaggle, operates on the cutting edge of machine learning. We bring together hundreds of thousands of experts to solve important problems for industry and academia. So this gives us a unique perspective on what machines can do, what they can't do, and what jobs they might automate or threaten. So machine learning started making its way into industry in the early 90s, and it started with relatively simple tasks. It started with things like assessing credit risk from loan applications, sorting the mail by reading the handwritten characters from zip codes. Over the past few years, we have made dramatic breakthroughs. Machine learning is now capable of far, far more complex tasks. In 2012, Kaggle challenged its community to build an algorithm that could grade high school essays. The winning algorithms were able to match the grades given by human teachers. Last year, we issued an even more difficult challenge. Can you take images of the eye and diagnose an eye disease called diabetic retinopathy? Again, the winning algorithms were able to match the diagnoses given by human ophthalmologists. Now, given the right data, machines are going to outperform humans at tasks like this. A teacher might read 10,000 essays over a 40-year career. An ophthalmologist might see 50,000 eyes. A machine can read millions of essays or see millions of eyes within minutes. we have no chance of competing against machines on frequent, high-volume tasks. But there are things that we can do that machines can't do. Where machines have made very little progress is in tackling novel situations. They can't handle things they haven't seen many times before. The fundamental limitation of machine learning is that it needs to learn from large volumes of past data. Now, humans don't. We have the ability to connect seemingly disparate threads to solve problems we've never seen before. Percy Spencer was a physicist working on radar during World War II when he noticed the magnetron was melting his chocolate bar. So he was able to connect his understanding of electromagnetic radiation with his knowledge of cooking in order to invent, any guesses? The microwave oven. Now, this is a particularly remarkable example of creativity, but this sort of cross-pollination happens for each of us in small ways, thousands of times per day. Machines cannot compete with us when it comes to tackling novel situations, and this puts a fundamental limit on the human tasks that machines will automate. So what does this mean for the future of work? The future state of any single job lies in the answer to a single question. To what extent is that job reducible to frequent, high-volume tasks, and to what extent does it involve tackling novel situations? On frequent, high-volume tasks, machines are getting smarter and smarter. Today, they grade essays, they diagnose certain diseases. Over coming years, they're going to conduct our audits, and they're going to read boilerplate from legal contracts. Accountants and lawyers are still needed. They're going to be needed for complex tax structuring, for path-breaking litigation, but machines will shrink their ranks and make these jobs harder to come by. Now, as mentioned, machines are not making progress on novel situations. The copy behind a marketing campaign needs to grab consumers' attention. It has to stand out from the crowd. Business strategy means finding gaps in the market, things that nobody else is doing. It will be humans that are creating the copy behind our marketing campaigns, and it will be humans that are developing our business strategy. So Yali, whatever you decide to do, let every day bring you a new challenge. If it does, then you will stay ahead of the machines. Thank you.
So what jobs aren't replaceable? You didn't answer the questions. Careers that will never be automated.
Careers that will never be automated. Jobs and careers that have the least automation risk. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, gently tap the like button in order to defeat the evil YouTube algorithm. On this channel, we talk about personal finance, college degrees, careers, and opportunities that will lead you to success. We also talk about avoiding some of the common financial traps that people fall for all the time. If that sounds like something that interests you and you haven't done it already, make sure to smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you never miss an opportunity. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. And I want to talk about 5 key factors that we're going to go over in every single career that we mention. These are the things that you always want to think about when it comes to careers. And by the way, all of these came from a Oxford Martin study called The Future of Employment that was done a few years ago. But anyways, creative intelligence tasks is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's basically any type of task that requires creative intelligence. So for instance, if you ask somebody to take a bunch of copies of a piece of paper, it would probably take a few minutes to train them how to make the copies. And then after that, you could pretty much have them do it over and over again. It's a very repetitive task. It doesn't take very long to train somebody how to do it. That would take very little creative intelligence. However, teaching somebody how to program a copying machine, creating the hardware as well as the software, and then making it better and better every single year with each model that gets released, takes creative intelligence. The next thing is social intelligence. So you've got social intelligence tasks. This is where you're talking to another human being. There is no way that a robot would ever be able to replace a comedian, for instance.
Hello, calories. It is nice to meet you.
Or how about a YouTuber, someone who is an entertainer? Or how about a teacher, somebody who conveys knowledge to someone, gauges where they're at, and then figures out whether they need to get more in depth, what they missed, answer all of their questions. Or somebody who's in healthcare, for instance. A lot of healthcare is simply understanding where the other person's at, understanding how much they know, and being able to communicate them whatever idea you have on whatever level that they're at. The next one is going to be perception and manipulation tasks. So this involves the use of your hands. So doing something with your hands that a robot would not be able to be easily programmed for. So let's say that they were to create some kind of machine that actually automated that copying process that I talked about a minute ago. That's totally possible. That could absolutely happen. But what happens when the machine itself breaks down? Are they going to be able to program robots that go diagnose the issue and then fix the machine? Probably not. Not unless it's a machine that's so common that would actually be worth it for them to spend the money programming robots to fix that exact machine. Likely, there's still going to be technicians that actually fix the machines themselves, using their fingers, using their hands, figuring out what's wrong with it, and then, replacing that part. So there's the perception of what's wrong, and then the manipulation using your hands to fix whatever that problem is. The next thing I want to talk about is, can it be replaced by an alternative that's just as good, if not better? And generally speaking, this alternative would be something that can be either automated or scaled. So a really simple example of this would be, in ancient times, the only way you could get your message out to hundreds or maybe thousands of people is if you got people to actually come to your speeches, okay? So you'd have to, put banners out or something like that saying, hey, this person is giving a speech in the town square or something like that on this date. And then a bunch of people would come there, and then you'd give your speech. And it was really limited to either hundreds or thousands of people. And things were like that for the longest time. Then at some point, they came up with some technology where you could amplify your voice. So maybe you could speak to like 100,000 people at most because of the fact that you had a speaker. So the art of public speaking is a little bit different than other types of communication. Now you can just stand in your room, talk to a camera like I'm doing right now, and you can reach millions of people potentially. This is a little bit different than public speaking. There's some subtle differences to it, but those are differences that make all the difference. And so something like public speaking, for instance, there used to be people that would literally go out and all they do every day is they tour different towns. They would come to different towns and they would just give speeches. That still happens to some extent, but it's largely been replaced by the fact that you can leverage just using a camera and then just posting it online, and you can even run ads to that if you want to. So that's an example. The skill or a job like public speaking, for instance, even though it's still pretty valuable, it has been somewhat replaced by an alternative that's just as good, and it's a lot more scalable. And then the last thing I want to talk about is something that was briefly touched on in the paper, but there was actually another study that went over it quite a bit more. And that is a task easily outsourced? So there might be some tasks that there's no way we could ever automate them. However, they can be either easily streamlined or easily outsourced to somebody who's in another country where the cost of hiring someone is much cheaper. So keep those 5 things in mind as we go through this. I'm going to kind of touch on all of them, and you can learn from this, not just on the list, but any job that you look at in real life. You can use these 5 things, and it's kind of just common sense. So first one we're going to talk about is going to be logisticians. So basically, they're going to take control of the logistics of an organization's supply chain. So the company that is probably the best at logistics out of any company in the world is obviously Amazon. They were the ones who made basically 1 to 2 day shipping a possibility, where you are able to click a button and sometimes the next day it shows up at your door. Now, according to willrobotstakemyjob.com, there is a 1.2% chance that this job will be automated. Now, the 1.2% chance is based off of the Oxford study that I mentioned before, and I'll have that pop up on my screen if I haven't done it already. However, on this website, they also have a poll where people who are either doing the jobs themselves or they have an opinion about the job can vote. And in the poll, they say there's about a 50% chance that it can be somewhat automated. Now, logisticians make around $74,000 a year. There is 188,000 jobs available, and it's growing at 4%, which is about average. So with this one, it's a perfect example of creative intelligence. So as new technology emerges, as the company expands, as laws change, as all kinds of different things change, you're going to need people who are an expert at, logistics and supply chain. There's always going to be ways to either streamline the process, make things a little bit better so you can make your customers more happy. And that's what logisticians are all about. That's what they do. There's no way that a robot will ever be able to take over control of that process. Even if you streamline the process to the point where it can't get any better, some law could change and all of a sudden you have to change everything, and you just wasted tons of money spending all kinds of money on like maybe a particular factory that just does that process completely automated. Maybe a new technology comes out and all of a sudden you spent, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars on this factory that's completely automated, and you just have to scrap it and spend another $100 million on a factory. These are all decisions that have to be made by humans. There's just no way that you will ever be able to replace a human. The second one I'm going to talk about is going to be engineers. Now, pretty much any type of engineering is not going to be able to be automated, but for the purposes of this video, I'll just choose one type and we'll stick with mechanical engineers, which have about a 1.1% chance of automation. Now, according to the public poll, they have about a 27% chance, so that's even better than the last one. Now, mechanical engineers make around $88,000 a year. They are 316,000 jobs available, and it's growing at 4%, which is as fast as average. This is another one where when it comes to creative intelligence, engineers are kind of the ones who design a lot of the processes that work with products. So there's engineers that designed your car, all the electronics within your car. Technology is progressing ridiculously fast. Laws are changing. They have to understand all of these things and make a product that complies with everything. On top of that, they have to be able to communicate that with other people within the company. So that would be an example of a social intelligence task. Although engineers do have the stereotype of not being very socially intelligent. In some cases, engineers are actually on the ground floor and they will have to use their fingers. So you could also say that it's an example of the perception and manipulation tasks. Because of the fact that engineers oftentimes will be designing things that are physical and will be used in the physical world, you probably won't be able to outsource it very easily, and there's not going to be that many alternatives. And even if it wasn't, next one on the list is going to be artists. And
oh my god, I'm so full. I'm so full. Oh. Put in like freaking 5 or so. Put in like 6. I don't even fucking know, bro. Put in like 5. Put in like 5, yeah. Oh! Oh god. Oh, I'm so tired.
That's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into that, gently tap the like button in order to defeat the evil YouTube algorithm. On this channel, we talk about personal finance, college degrees, careers, and opportunities that will lead you to success. We also talk about avoiding some of the common. So that would be an example of a social intelligence task. Although engineers do have for artists out there, and they make pretty unpopular, but also very practical. Engineering is extremely practical. You're basically coming up with an idea in your head, and then you're figuring out how you can make that idea exist in real life. So without a doubt, engineering is future-proof. It's not ever going to be replaced. Next one on the list is going to be artists. And just as an example, we're going to use makeup artists. So if you thought that 1.2% was good, wait until you see this. This one is 1%. And according to the poll at the bottom, only about 20% of people think that it can be automated. Now this one, there's only about 3,400 people that are employed.
There's more freaking artists.
It's makeup artists, but of course there's many other jobs for artists out there, and they make around $81,000 a year. So when it comes to creative intelligence, you can see why this one is so important. So if somebody calls you, you're on a Hollywood set, and they say, hey, you need to put makeup on somebody, and they are pretending like they're Louis the 14th, you're gonna have to know exactly what type of makeup they were using at that time, what the style is, what the look is. You're going to have to understand all of these things. This takes a lot of creative intelligence. There's no way that you could program this into a machine. On top of that, you have the perception and manipulation tasks that are very important when it comes to actually applying the makeup onto somebody's face. Everybody's face is going to be a little bit different. Some people have very oily skin, some people have dry skin. You're going to have to determine this and then apply the makeup in a certain way. And that way will be different for every single person. So let's say you're applying makeup to somebody and they tell you, hey, I'm actually allergic to this, we can't use that. You're going to have the intelligence to know that you have to use a different makeup that will give the same result. Art in general, it's never going to be replaced by automation. You might be able to streamline it, make it a little bit easier to do, but you're never going to be able to replace it. The next one on the list is an interesting one. It's going to be a forensic science technician. This one has a 1% chance of being replaced with about 28% chance on the poll. And they make around $59,000 a year. There's 17,200 jobs available, and it's growing at 14%, which is much, much faster than average. Now, forensic science technicians basically aid criminal investigations by...
I was not thinking about it last time, bro. Fuck. Thinking about something else, bro. What about? Oh. Oh, so full. Oh, dude. 꺼주시고요. 꺼주시고.
by collecting and analyzing evidence. So think like Dexter, for instance. So Dexter is an example of a type of forensic science technician. He's kind of like a blood spatter expert. Really good show if you've never watched it. And it's really crazy what those people are able to do. Like they're able to kind of just like look at a crime scene and kind of reenact exactly what happened in that crime scene based on where all the blood spatter is. But you can see why this would take a lot of creative intelligence. So let's say that you collected a fingerprint at the crime scene. You'd have to be able to tell if that's a fingerprint that was left by the person who committed the crime, or whether it's just a random fingerprint from one of the neighbors, like it's just a friend or something. Or how about some blood spatter that you collect? You have to be able to analyze the evidence and then present it to other people in such a way that they would be able to understand. So that's an example of the social intelligence aspect. It's not going to be able to be easily outsourced because you have to actually be on the scene itself. You have to be collecting the data itself. So that's an example of, using your fingers. So that would be perception and manipulation tasks. And it won't be able to be replaced or automated by a better alternative just because of the fact that you're not really selling anything. You're just looking at a crime scene. Will it likely be streamlined? Absolutely. But at the same time, there's always going to be somebody there who has to actually analyze whatever the data is. Next one on the list is going to be registered nurse. One of the most common jobs out there. It's also a job that consistently scores really well, pretty much no matter what area that you look at. Registered nurse is definitely one of the better careers that you can get into overall. This one has a 0.9% chance of being automated, and only about 21% of people think that it'll be automated in the future. With this one, you're going to make around $73,000 a year. There's 3 million jobs available, and it's growing at 7%, which is faster than average. That is fantastic. So with this one, I think it should be pretty obvious. I mean, pretty much any, one that you look at, all 5 of them, there's no way that it's going to be automated. Creative intelligence tasks, we're talking about people's health here. You're going to be the one who is going to be taking the vitals a lot of the time. There's no way that anybody would ever trust a machine to do that in the first place, even if the machine was a little bit better. There's constant technological improvements that are being made. Like imagine if somebody starts having a heart attack all of a sudden, is the robot going to know what to do? Absolutely not. They're not going to know how to recognize that. But a nurse who's been working for 10, 15 years, she's probably seen it 100 times before, so she'll be able to easily recognize what's happening, and then she'll be able to call the right person in order to take care of them and take the proper steps. Social intelligence tasks, same thing. You're going to be communicating with patients. The way you communicate with patients is completely different than the way you would communicate with another nurse or a doctor. Perception and manipulation tasks, obviously, another thing you're going to be using your hands all the time to do very detailed work. Can it be replaced by a better alternative that can be automated or scaled? Absolutely not. We're talking about people's health here. You might be able to streamline the process a little bit. There's technology that always comes out that helps people make their job a little bit easier or do it a little bit faster, but there's no way that it's ever going to be replaced. And then can it easily be outsourced? There's no way that you can just ship somebody to another country, have them take care of their healthcare needs, and then ship them back. You have to actually be in there in person. So there's no way that it can be outsourced. Next one on the list is going to be foresters. They're going to be the people who take care of and manage different forests, parks, etc. Now there's a 0.8% chance that they're going to be automated according to the study, and according to the poll, the human poll, there's about a 28% chance. Now foresters make around $62,000 a year. There's 36,000 jobs available, and it's growing at 5%, which is faster than average. So this one is fairly obvious as well. Creative intelligence tasks, you're going to have to be going around looking at different trees, making sure they're healthy, making sure people are following the proper guidelines when it comes to managing trees, looking to see if there's a lot of debris on the forest floor, and in some cases clearing out that debris in order to prevent fires. Social intelligence tasks, you're going to be communicating this information with other people, and then they're going to be making decisions on how you should solve problems. Perception and manipulation tasks, you will be going around using your hands all the time, touching stuff. A lot of the time foresters are actually out in the forests themselves.
Okay. Oh. Is it like getting better though? Barely. Some more water. I'm gonna have to wait a little while for this to actually fucking boil or something. Put it on 4-3 or something.
Can it be replaced by a better alternative? Absolutely not. You have to be there, you have to be in person, and it also won't be able to be outsourced because, again, you have to be there in person. Next one on the list is kind of going to be a broad category because there were so many that fell under this category, and I'm not going to include all of them or else the video would be really boring, but it's going to be business specialists. Now, the one we're going to use in this particular case is going to be sales engineers, and sales engineers are going to be used to sell complex technical products or services to businesses. So you have to be able to sell, but at the same time communicate in a technical way so you can explain high-level technical stuff to business owners that they will understand. Now, this one has a 0.4% chance of being automated, so basically no chance whatsoever. And according to the poll, they had a 32% chance. Sales engineers make around $103,000 a year. There's 64,500 jobs available, and it's growing at 6%, which is faster than average. Now, I don't think I need to explain this one at all. I mean, creative intelligence, they're a type of engineer. They're going to be selling to people. They have to be very creative. They have to understand the product that they're selling, first of all. They have to understand what the person they're selling to actually cares about. You notice with car commercials, for instance, they hardly ever mention the really detailed technical stuff because most people out there don't care about the detailed technical stuff. There might be a few car enthusiasts here and there that, can speak that language and they really care, but for the most part, the mass market doesn't really care. What they really care about is, does it look nice and does it save you money on gas? So that's an example of social intelligence. Figuring out what your customer actually cares about and then communicating the parts of your product that are going to cater to those problems. Can it be replaced by a better alternative that can be either automated or scaled? Although there are some sales jobs out there that can be replaced by a better alternative that can be automated or scaled, when it comes to technical stuff like this, there's absolutely no way. There's no way that a robot would be able to explain technical stuff to a business owner in such a way to convince them to buy their product. If a business owner called the line and a robot answered, they would immediately hang up and be like, okay, I'm going to go to your competitor. Can it be easily outsourced? Maybe, but probably not. Again, when it comes to high-level technical stuff and talking to a salesperson, you could technically outsource that to another country, but You know, a lot of the time they do that with customer support jobs, for instance, but when it comes to sales, where the person might actually buy something and the salesman is in charge of getting them to buy that, they're probably not going to do it. Next one on the list is going to be teachers or educators. So this is going to be people who teach children in a class, for instance, but you can also add in people who are educators online. There's a lot of YouTubers, for instance, that educate people about different subjects. I would consider myself an educator as well as an entertainer, for instance. So for this example, we'll use a special education teacher, which they work with students who have physical and mental disabilities. Their chance of being automated is 0.8%, and the human poll came out at 33%. They're going to make around $61,000 a year. There's 442,000 jobs available, and it's growing at 3%, which is about average. So when it comes to creative intelligence, for instance, you're talking to someone, you're explaining a concept to them. Sometimes they're not going to get it. Maybe they misheard something you said. Maybe it just doesn't click for them. They're not going to get it. And as a teacher, you need to be able to understand when they don't get it. So they might make a comment back to you. Can you explain this in more depth? And then a robot, there's no way they would be able to figure that out and be able to change it. On top of that, things change all the time. So let's say you were a computer science teacher, you're teaching people coding. Maybe a new language comes out. You're going to have to be able to learn that, and that takes creative intelligence so that you can teach your students. It also takes social intelligence. I think that one is really obvious. Many times you're going to have to do perception and manipulation. You're going to have to use your hands in order to explain things to people. Can it be outsourced to a better alternative that can be scaled? Now, this one is interesting, especially with the current situation that's happening in the world right now. A lot of classes are actually going online. If this trend continues where classes continue to be online, you could potentially see a lot of jobs being taken away. Because generally in a class in an elementary school, for instance, there would only be maybe 20 or 30 students. You could potentially do a class with hundreds of students online if you wanted to. Now, I personally don't think the quality of the class itself would be as good, but some people out there would disagree with me. Some people would actually prefer to do classes online, so to each their own. Can it be outsourced? Again, that's something that you could potentially see happening. I think there's a lot of people here in the United States that would love to be taught by a teacher that has a British accent, for instance. But overall, I think part of it could be streamlined and automated, but the whole process, there's no way you're going to have to replace the social part as well as the creative part. Even if you just did a video series, you still have to answer questions here and there because people are going to have questions and they're going to comment at you. This is why I always try to answer all the comments on the channel, although as the channel grows, there's a lot of comments coming in, but yeah, we'll see. Next one on the list is going to be healthcare professionals, and this is another one along with the business specialists where there were so many of these on the list that I decided to just include all of them. And this is actually the winner by a country mile. This would make up like 80% of the list. We could make pretty much all healthcare professions as ones that will never be automated. They make up 10 out of the top 15 careers that were on the list. There were the least likely to be automated. On top of that, healthcare-related careers are expected to grow 15% over the next 10 years on average, which is higher than any other type of career out there. This one is extremely in demand. So I think this one is pretty obvious. I mentioned nurse and pretty much all the things I said about it.
Oh my God. Oh, these people don't exist. This person does not exist. What the fuck? Is this a real person? What the fuck? Fork. Wow, this is so weird. So weird, bro.
Nurse nurse, apply to this one. You have to have creative intelligence because you need to be able to just look at somebody, take a few vitals here and there, and then decide what they have and what steps you need to take in order to treat them or cure them. There's no way that a robot will ever be able to do that. Sure, robots can assist you, they can make your job easier, they can make it to where you get more work done, but they're never going to be able to replace healthcare professionals. And even if they could, let's just say theoretically, even if they could technically replace healthcare professionals, I don't think the laws would allow them to do it for a long, long time. Healthcare professionals are the last category that would ever be replaced, not only on a practical level, but also almost on a moral level. I don't think laws would ever allow healthcare professionals, doctors, etc., to be in a position where they could be replaced by robots. You have to use your hands all the time as a healthcare professional. You have to communicate with people on different levels. That's one thing a lot of people don't realize is the level of communication skills that you have to have when you are a healthcare professional. The way you describe something to a patient is going to be different than the way you describe something to a nurse, and that's going to be different than the way you describe something to a...
First creative jobs are going to go. Do you know why? Any AI that you create needs training data. अगर आप एक construction site पे जाओगे and take a video of the guy, laying bricks. With bricks, there's a lot of tolerance. I can have the brick like 2% down, 3% down, doesn't matter. I can have the cement. I have to create so many videos of it. We don't have that training data right now. But if you look at thumbnail design, there is so much thumbnail data in the world right now. How many thumbnails have been created on YouTube? Billions. I can just feed that entire data to an algorithm. Order this by number of views the video's got, and I'll get the ultimate. But the data is available online. Now, for the people who are UI UX designers, there are sites where you can get like these screenshots of the apps. For example, one of my friends runs one called UI Sources. Screenshotted every app by every screen. So it is easier for a computer to replace creative jobs. First creative jobs are going to go. Do you know why? Any AI that you create needs training data. अगर आप एक construction site पे जाओगे and take a video of the...
Is AI going to take over programming jobs? The short answer is no, but the long answer, a bit complicated. AI has been a scary subject for programmers for a long time. OpenAI's self-programming AI and GitHub's Copilot has made people think that programmers are on the low. These tools, though, should be embraced by programmers to help them with the tedious tasks. I mean, you're just copying and pasting it from Stack Overflow anyway. Who knows how much in-demand programmers will be 10 years down the line, though. AI exponentially gets smarter and smarter. As long as software serves human.
Think about the economics of this. If you can replace a $30,000, $40,000 a year worker, which you have to pay every year, with a one-time payment of $25,000 for a robot that can work longer hours, a pretty rapid replacement of certain types of jobs. How worried should the world be about that?
I wouldn't worry about the sort of putting people out of a job thing. I think we're actually going to have, and already do have, a massive shortage of labor. So I think we will have not people out of work, but actually still a shortage of labor even in the future. This really will be a world of abundance. Any goods and services will be available to anyone who wants them. That it'll be so cheap to have goods and services, it'll be ridiculous. It will be a world of abundance, but the only scarce. That will exist in the future is that which we decide to.
Will AI replace jobs? Oh. So freaking tired, bro. Okay. Yeah, how do I turn this off? Oh my god, bro. How do I turn it? Gee, bro. Oh. I cooked some more pasta. I cooked it more. Now it's like, I guess it's edible. I cooked it for a little longer. I guess now it's edible. Edible, man. Edible. 뜨거워. I earned it, bro. I'm so sick of eating pasta over and over again. No protein, bro. Only have one pack of pasta. Bunch of sauce, but man, I'm so sick of eating this. Oh, I need some protein, bro. I have literally no energy. It's what you have. It's what you get if you have an unbalanced diet, bro. Oh God, oh, bro. Oh my God, I feel so tired. Oh, oh my God. Oh, let's check some abs. There's core. Kai. Hey, big Kai. Snap. What's up? Discord snap. What's up? Okachi. 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 Yeah. Yo. love you, bye bye. I love you, BBY. Hey, how you been, God? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3. How have I been? Answer the question, Vaughn. Jesus. I lost. Oh. Games na, workout content na, mukbang. How about become a YouTuber or some personality? So, content creator. Content creator or YouTuber or trying to create some content. I don't know. Full workout. I'm trying to become content creator, but I don't know if it'll work out. Um, fun fact. I did actually run away from my family when I was 17. I don't know if it'll work out. Content creator, trying to create some content. Trying to become a content creator. So I don't know if I told you this. I don't know if I don't know. So I probably haven't told you this. But I kind of ran away from my family when I was 17. Yeah. It's one in my own life. No. Oh man, I'll just have to sleep and respond. How is that going? What have you been doing? Last time we talked, you were in another country, I think. I was in Canada going to uni in Waterloo, but I'm not in uni anymore because of money and everything. I'm living on my own. I work part-time at the moment, trying to become a content creator. So I probably haven't told you this, but I kind of ran away from my family when I was 17 because I wanted my own life. University. Going to university. will cost me too much. Cost me a lot of student debt, which that I don't want to deal with. Whether it is in Korea or in Canada. Good to start off with that. Absolutely, bro. 경기력, 경기대. Are you kidding me? Oh. What's the English? What's the English? Teach some other kids. Try to cheer some younger kids. Yeah, they left something outside the door like 10 minutes ago or something like that. It's wreck. Yeah, it's wreck. Where's my glasses? No. Oh shit. Okay. They left the box. Wolf the box. I mean, there's some crackers and a bunch of shit I already ate. 지랄 같은 이 새끼들이 보내준 책 하나도 아니고 이 새끼들이 보내준 책은 하나도 아니고 닥치고 별걸 다 보내네 병신 같은 하나도 안 읽지 이 새끼들이 보낸 거 크래커나 몇 개 먹자 일단 I'll show it to you later. It's a big box. Butter coconut biscuit. I think this looks alright. There's a bunch of small waters as well, which is nice. I can definitely go out for a run after I clear the trash. Tuna can. There's some stuff. I can eat a can of tuna before I go out. I ain't reading a single book that they sent. Fuck them. Fuck them. This is alright. Okay, I'm gonna eat a can of tuna and a bunch of crackers. But just to show you what they sent, I'm gonna eat these two. Oh wait, let me show it to you guys. Yeah, just they sent a bunch of things like this. They sent the box, this huge box. There's this obviously, which I can't eat right now because I'm so full. I just ate a fucking full thing of pasta. There's some rice packs. These, I can't eat those. Fuck their books. I'm just gonna leave them outside. I don't really care about their books. Don't really care what they have to say or send. I ain't gonna read their books. Fuck you. So I'm gonna leave them outside. The door. Yeah. Okay. I have to clear trash. They also sent a bunch of water. Not a bunch, but just a small, with some water. It's not even enough, to be honest. I'm gonna run out of water really quick. There's one thing I can't. What is this? Some masks. Bunch of aspects, which I don't need. I can use them for runs, I guess. Put in my pocket. Put both in my pocket. Another chamchi, and yeah, that's about it. And a bunch of like chopsticks. It's not gonna last too long. I'll just leave this food on top so I can eat it later. But this is not much, but I'll just eat it. What I need is protein. There's barely any protein. Just 2 cans of tuna and a can of corvini. But yeah, this thing. That's it. There's no more. That's a bit of a problem. Bummer. But yeah. I'll just have to clear the trash on the way out though. That's one thing I have to do. When I go out for a run after I eat this. I did when I was 17. The thing is, I can't film a mukbang if I don't have a camera. I just cannot. That's why I need $1,000 so I can buy a camera. I also left all my shoes and freaking. If I had it, I can sell it, right? I can freaking sell all those shoes and all my valuables like skis and shit. If I had it, I could literally sell it, right? If I had it with me. But all of it's gone, bro. It's gone. I left them at Waterloo. I don't know how much it would cost in total. I feel like I have to eat still. Oh, what else is there? I can have some seaweed, right? And I can open 2 hot packs, right? Get them ready. Yeah. I'll just open 2 hot packs. Get them ready for the run. Yeah, the seaweed thing. I was hungry for like days, bro. I barely eaten anything for days. My last 2 meals, if those are even meals, were just pasta and sauce. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just pasta and sauce. Tomato sauce. Get out of it. Take risks. No? Take risks. Have to take risks, bro. 아, 배불러. 가자. 그만 먹고. Wow, man. Stop eating too much. Jesus. These hot bags ready. Yeah, headphones. Need to get a bunch of shit ready. Oh, bro. I gotta change as well. I clean a bunch of shit up. I have to throw away trash as well. So much things to do. Pretty high school. What is that? I'm picking high school. I ain't picking high school. Oh gosh. Let's go. jungle now. Sometimes. No. Whoa, something. So. No. I'm picking high school. Picking high school. I'm picking high school. Yes. He's a man. No. But So hot in here. I'll just turn off the heater. Should I? Yeah, I should. Oh. Open the door. It's good to be there. Really? Visa. Visa. Heavy metal. I'm a go getter, go getter. Okay. Supermodel. Then popping like a bottle. Bank account. I hit the lotto. Freaking it. A high lot. Party. Rari. Sorry. Body. Animosity. As I'll be out. What time? Degrees only. Going out. I'll be out, guys. Bye. I'll be out, guys. What time? 3:40. I'm going out for a run. But